Welcome to One on One with Mitch Lafon, and joining me on this episode, Operation Mindcrime singer GEOFF TATE. We talk about their new album, Resurrection. Before checking out the interview, please check me out on Twitter at Mitch Lafon, MITCHLAFON, Facebook, One on One Mitch Lafon, and paypal.me/Mitch Lafon should you care to support the podcast. And now here he is, the one, the only, vocalist extraordinaire, GEOFF TATE. We are speaking with GEOFF TATE of Operation Mindcrime. The new album is Resurrection. Always a pleasure to speak with you, Geoff.
Hey, Mitch.
Yes.
How are you doing?
Good. For those who don't know, this is a part 2 of an interview because we tried this a couple of weeks ago and I ended up not feeling so well. So I feel great, and it's nice to be able to speak music with you once again. For those who haven't seen the band live recently, I saw you. When was it? I guess April or March at the in Ottawa. Band was on fire. Anyway, it was earlier this year, and the band is sounding great. I mean, just really, really, really great. You've got some great players with you.
Yeah, that was a really great tour. Actually, I don't like to use that word too much, but it truly was a great tour. It was a lot of fun. And we covered a lot of ground all over the world on that tour, and looking forward to doing it again starting in November this year.
You've got the Trinity tour coming up with Ripper Owens and Blaze Bayley, formerly of Judas Priest and Iron Maiden, respectively. Like I said, we could start there, and then we'll get into Resurrection. That tour, it's sort of a short run of half a dozen shows or so. Is that going to grow at some point and really become 20, 30, 40 shows, or is this sort of a special catch it while you can?
Well, we had such a good time playing together on my record that we started talking about, wouldn't it be fun continuing this madness out on the road? And all three of us love the idea, and as we talked, we got even more excited about it, and then the cruel reality struck us that it's incredibly difficult to get all three of us in the same spot at the same time. Even in the same country, it's difficult. So these are the dates that we had open in this year, and we hope that we can add more dates as time goes by. But I tell you, I'm really looking forward to this. I haven't looked forward to a tour like this in, forever, actually. This is really a unique kind of thing. The three of us get along so well. We had a great time about a week ago. We shot a video for the song Taking on the World here in Seattle, and those two guys were staying at my house, and we had the greatest time. And did a little bit more recording, and I don't know, we're just excited. It's going to be fun. It's kind of a different thing for all three of us, and we're really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. Hopefully, next year there can be a part 2, like a run through the summer or something, but that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Let's get over to Resurrection, part 2 of a trilogy. Now, I know you had some of the songs written beforehand, and this is sort of the continuation. Talk to me a little bit about the creative process in having this vision of 3 albums, and sort of how do you go about making it a reality?
Well, you just kind of have to roll up your sleeves and dig in, really. Well, I've liked the idea of a trilogy for a long time. I've wanted to put together kind of a large-scale conceptual piece for a while. And I like the Trinity idea because it's a 3-part story, like a story in 3 acts, which is pretty classic storytelling, And I just didn't have the subject. And my wife and I went on a trip over Europe, and we went on a hike across northern Spain on the Camino de Santiago Pilgrim Trail. And I found it to be incredibly inspirational, and wrote the story while I was on the hike, and created an outline and started putting kind of the characterization together of the various characters of the story and some of the plot lines. And when I got back to Seattle, I was just pumped because I'd kind of been waiting for the subject to come to me, for a long time. And just kind of rolled up the sleeves and dug in and started, composing music for it.
Does it limit the ability to write music for it in the sense that there has to be a certain pacing to it and a certain rhythm to it? Or can the guitarist in the band or the drummer in the band come and say, hey, I have an idea, let's do this? I mean, can you try stuff with it, or does it sort of oblige you to go in a certain direction?
I think it's easier, actually, because you have a subject matter you're dealing with and you have a storyline you're dealing with. So it weeds out all the possibilities that aren't really possible, and it kind of keeps you in line. And but yeah, everything that I do is very open to collaboration. I'm a collaborator. I'll get the ball rolling with a nice sketch of an idea, and sometimes those sketches turn out to be keeper tracks on the record. But oftentimes it's hey, I've got this thing here. What can we do with this? Or what do you think about that? And, what's your feedback on this? Can you do something with it? That's kind of the way I approach music.
Is this something that you also looked at in a cinematic kind of way? Because we've spoken before about Operation Mindcrime, the album, the Queensryche album, becoming a movie, and there was a script in the works, and it's obviously not panned out for now. Did you approach this one with a sort of like, hey, if this flies, maybe I could turn it into a movie or a play or something?
Not really my focus, really. But I suppose if the situation came about, yeah, I'd probably try to adapt it in some way, or work with somebody that wanted to do that. The story with Operation Mindcrime turning into a movie there's been so many attempts at that, by various people over the years, and it's funny because it always comes down to the same kind of thing. And I guess this is kind of true with a lot of screenplays, a lot of stories. It comes down to financing, and that's kind of like the killer to a lot of projects is the financing. Now, the last time this one got seriously picked up and tried to be made into a movie was right there in the middle of the 2008 world financial crisis, as they're calling it now.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of funding for film projects and things like that kind of fell through.
It's funny that you almost say that in an apologetic kind of way, that it comes down to financing, but there is that reality. I'm looking around these days, and we're looking at the Dawkins reunion, and Mick Brown, and they say it's for the money, and fans are going, "Oh my God, how dare they say that?" And it's like, well, of course it is. I mean, who tours just to get a pat on the back, right? There seems to be this disdain for making money doing art, which baffles me. But Operation Mindcrime, that album, and this trilogy or Trinity has this cinematic quality to it. Is that something at some point you would like to explore outside of the music business? Become a director, become an actor, become a screenplay writer, or are you fulfilled creatively just in the music world?
I suppose if the right situation came about and it seemed exciting to me, I'd definitely, move in that direction. But as of today, I don't have any film offers
right
in the works.
But outside of music, do you do anything that stimulates you creatively, or do you put all your energies into writing songs? I mean, is there like a GEOFF TATE novel that's being written for the last 10 years that people don't know about, or is musically sort of your voice artistically?
Yeah, music definitely has been my voice and is my voice. Yeah. I think I've done 18 albums now, and over 200 published songs. So I've been kind of busy.
Yeah, it keeps you out of trouble. Do you are there any albums you look back on and think that was my apex? I really was on the top of my game. I mean, that's the one that defines me. Or are you still in that constant search of, no, the next one's going to be it. The next one's going to be it. 'Cause that seems to be sort of the modus operandi of artists, that the next one is going to be the one.
well, maybe I'm different in that respect, that I don't really think in those terms,
Okay.
of reaching some kind of mythical stairway or step or rung on the ladder, I don't really think of life like that, I guess because I'm not competing. I guess if I was a competitor, I might think differently, but I'm really kind of anti-competition, when it comes to art. I mean, I think if you're playing a basketball game, as they say, a healthy competitive attitude is good, but art is not competitive in my way of thinking.
Well, it really shouldn't be. Does it frustrate you when some of the fan base says, "Oh, he didn't make another Empire. He didn't make another," or are you sort of free to do what you want and it'll just be what it'll be?
That's such a difficult question to answer.
Right. Yeah.
You know why? Because you've run the risk of sounding so, I don't know, arrogant, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, would you really take into consideration somebody who said, why did Hillary Clinton let those people die in the Benghazi situation? What an asinine question.
Right.
It didn't, roll up her sleeves one day and say, okay, I'm going to let 4 people die today. It's out of her control, right? Well, so is making music. It's, to a certain extent, you go with your muse. You go with what moves you, what's interesting to you, what moves you emotionally. And you're not trying to duplicate something you did before. At least I don't think in those terms, ever.
Yeah, but there certainly are. Now, the third part of this trilogy, now you've said that the albums are going to be sort of spaced 1 year apart, and you've mentioned in the past that the third one is already been worked on or mostly done. Is there still room for change where it could be rewritten, re-recorded, or is the story told and it stays told as is?
Well, yeah, it is told. Yeah, it's a done deal.
Right.
It's all pretty much, in the can, waiting, mixing, mastering, that kind of thing. But the beauty of art and music is that you have the live scenario to exhibit the song or the piece or the album, and you can play it in a arrangement that occurs to you at the time. For instance, you can change parts and pieces to fit better with your environment or your touring schedule or your situation that you're playing in, your instrumentation, and that kind of thing, because you only have so many hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When the 3 parts are done, though, do you see yourself doing a presentation? Because you took the album Operation Mindcrime and you've presented it in whole, and you did Operation Mindcrime 1 and 2 as a show one time. Do you see yourself doing this trilogy as a full concert all the way through?
Yeah, I'd like to. I'd like to do something like that. Maybe after the third one's released and some time has gone by, maybe a limited special engagement, something like that, playing all 3 in its entirety. Maybe I'll record it. That'd be kind of neat to do.
I think that would be fantastic to do. One night in Seattle and get everybody to come in. When these 3 are done, where do you see yourself going in the future? I mean, is it back to writing sort of one-off records and it'll be about what's happening to you at your life at that time? Or do you want to continue going into sort of a concept or conceptual world of writing?
Mitch, I just don't have a clear picture on that direction right now. I'm kind of leaving it open to see what happens
as you get inspired, as they say. In the early days when you were with that other band, you had Chris DeGarmo helping you, or not helping you, but you guys wrote as a team, and you were quite successful. Who's your writing partner now, and do you prefer working alone, or is it important to have collaborators?
I like both, really. I like working with different people for different reasons. A different musical library of a person, can be beneficial and inspirational too. If you're really stuck on a piece, like, I just don't know where to take this, some input can be really helpful. Sometimes it's great just to give the whole thing to somebody and say, okay, well, I've taken this far as I can. What can you do with it? That's cool too. But, when you have a clear idea on where you want to go with it, it's oftentimes much easier just to do it yourself, take it where you want to go.
Well, yeah, because you've always struck me as somebody who has a very clear vision, and I know fans will say, "Oh, big-headed, arrogant." No, it just seems like somebody who's confident and has a clear vision of what he wants, and that's what I've always appreciated from you as an artist, that you have a very distinct voice, and I don't mean a singing voice. I mean, a voice to enunciate things, and I like that. Now, Kelly Gray has worked with you for many years, in and out of that other band, in and out of this band. What does he mean to you, and what does he bring to the table to you as producer, as guitarist, as friend, as writer, the whole package? What does he mean to you?
Well, Kelly, he and I started working together in 1979, so it's been many, many years now, more than I can count. He's a incredibly creative guy. When I can corral him into, actually getting him into a room, he's kind of evasive. But once I track him down and get him over to my house and working, he could be really productive, and he's just fun to work with. He's always got an idea, and he lives life kind of on his own rules, his own terms, and I like that about him. He'll call you at 4:00 in the morning. I've been thinking about that idea that we've been talking about. Kelly, I'm asleep. Oh, okay. Well, do you want me to call you back? No, you woke me up. Okay, let's continue the conversation. Well, I had this idea, and I'm just going to send it to you on email and see what you think. Okay, bye. That's a conversation.
That's funny. Do you sort of work that way also? Do you sort of get up sometimes at 3 a.m. and head down to the studio, or are you sort of able to? No, you're like a 9 to 5 guy kind of thing.
I'm more like 9 or 10 to like 7 in the evening kind of guy.
Yeah, normal hours.
Yeah.
Here, I'll ask you a question that you may or may not like, but one of your former bandmates recently said that they're still trying to repair the damage from the GEOFF TATE era, which to me seems sort of which I think is sort of an obnoxious thing to say. But do you forget what they were saying? But do you feel that there was some kind of damage done to you? Or did you come out of that hole in terms of emotionally and physically, and because it seems to almost discount 20 years or 25 years of career. I find it sort of offensive to say that, quite frankly.
Yeah, it's I'd just rather not comment on stupidity, Mitch. Sorry.
No. Listen, I have to say I sort of fully agree with you. To me, whether the band or members are still work together is one thing, but when I see, Ace Frehley or Gene Simmons and this and that, and they're saying it was all awful when Peter Criss was there, you go, no, it wasn't. Maybe it wasn't fun to work with, but let the fans still have their moment, right? We still got a lot of great music, and it bothers me when people do that. In terms,
all I have to say, all I can say, Mitch, is It when it happened and we parted ways, I felt very hurt over the whole thing. And I've mended and got on with my life. And, honestly, it's like nothing has changed. I'm still making records, still touring, still my economy hasn't changed. It's like nothing has changed except for the people I'm surrounded by now, the people I surround myself with. It's just quite different, That's it, really.
Well, let me ask it to you this way, more like in a psychologist kind of way. When we all go through moments in life that are difficult and we get through them, but we get to forget about them. We get to move on. When you're doing these interviews and people bring stuff up like that, at some point, do you want to just say it's enough? Can we just not go there anymore? Or are you sort of resigned to the fact that people are going to ask?
Oh, yeah, I think people, certain people will ask. But funny enough, Mitch, I've done like 30 interviews over the last few weeks, and you're the only one that's asked me that.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, I certainly meant no disrespect.
I know.
So please don't take it that way. I do look forward. We did mention the tour with Ripper and Blaze. That there is that month of November, those shows. In terms of Operation Mindcrime, your band, what sort of the touring schedule look like going forward?
We're just getting ready to put out an announcement on that. But I believe, we have European dates that begin. What is it? It's right after the Trinity tour, so sometime in like end of November, 1st of December, something like that.
And of course, probably Christmas off, and then January, February back on the road. I would imagine, and then
I think I'm spending Christmas in Ireland this year, so probably just take Christmas Day off, something like that. I think I have a show in Belfast on the 27th.
Really?
I think that's when it is. Yeah.
Well, just be careful if you have any Apple products. They might start taxing you out of the blue. Yeah, right there you go.
Apple products? What do you mean, like?
Well, did you see what
happened? Or something?
Well, they just got charged. Apple Corporation just got fined from Ireland $14.6 billion for back taxes today. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So that was a little.
Good for them.
Yeah, good for them.
Come on, Ireland.
Always a pleasure. Very much. I've heard the album, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. It just marvels to me that after all these years, you haven't run out of ideas, and you still know how to deliver a very, very satisfying product. And it's great to have that.
Oh, thank you, Mitch. Appreciate that.
And we'll do this. We'll do this again soon. And I'm glad that we got through it without my head spinning and me passing out like the last time.
Really, and me being embarrassed and unable to help.
Yeah, well, listen, it wasn't up to you, and I probably should not have gotten on the phone that day. But sometimes you want to be a trooper, and well, sometimes it's not a good idea to be a trooper. But there you go.
I know. Sometimes you just don't want to give in to like your health. Like, I'll get through it. And then you think, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Paying the price now. Darn it.
Well, in fact, a lot of it, and I don't want to sound like I'm blaming you, but it had a lot to do with you. It was because, it's Jeff. I got to get on the phone. I got to get this done. I got to be there. I have a sense of duty to get it done. And had it been almost anybody else, I probably would have phoned the publicist and said, "Listen, I just can't." But and I don't mean that in a bad sense. I just figured, no, it's Jeff. I got to get and it didn't work. So we got it done. Resurrection's the new album, Trinity tour with Ripper Owens and Blaze Bayley coming soon. And there you go. Toujours un plaisir. Toujours. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Mitch. Take care now.
Thank you. Merci. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And there you have it, folks. My interview with singer extraordinaire Geoff Tate from the band Operation Mindcrime. Do check out their new album, Resurrection. Check me out on Twitter at Mitch Lafon, Facebook one-on-one Mitch Lafon, and paypal.me/Mitch Lafon should you care to support the podcast. And with that, I bid you a fond farewell, or as I like to say, bye for now.